Okay. So, how to become an online teacher effectively? That's the topic that we are going to discuss here. I have gone through a lot of training sessions and webinars regarding this. In this context, I wanted to share with all of you all my learnings so that the more we can generate these learnings, these ideas among all of us, we can become more successful in our teaching. So your challenges, your problems, your solutions, my challenges, my problems, and my solutions, if we start interacting with each other, then naturally we will one day at least become an effective online teacher. That's the main objective of this particular webinar. On behalf of Imagi Minds Educare LLP, I am conducting this webinar on teaching online effectiveness. So I dedicate this particular webinar to all the teachers and trainers of this era, because they are going to be our future teachers, and that's going to be our future pedagogy also. The pandemic will end one day, no doubt, but this particular behavior of teaching online, this particular habit of teaching online will continue with us, and maybe it will be required on and off to continue with this particular mode of teaching. So I'll move forward, and before I move forward, I want to do a small test. I'll be showing the thing over here. Yes. All of you can see a screen over here. It's written, you type menti.com on your www.menti.com and use the code 581708 and answer this question. Let us see what will be the result. Go to www.menti.com and use the code 581708 and then answer your questions. This particular question, so far in online teaching, what was the greatest challenge you faced? I hope all of you are trying. www.menti.com and use the code 581708 and answer this question. So far in online teaching, what was the greatest challenge you faced? No eye contact, one of the answers, responses. Let's see, few more. Capturing full attention, fine. So 2 people have responded so far. So this is one of the effective tool to interact with the students. You can also try when you're teaching with this Mentimeter, giving a question and asking the students to respond. And when they respond, the answer comes in the screen itself directly. And when the people are more in number, the one with maximum percentage is going to show a bigger size, and the rest will be shown a smaller size. Let's see. So already 3 participants have given 3 different answers. Yes. The others, please. So no eye contact again. So there's a repetition of another thing, no eye contact. Four participants. Yes. Others? I think I have so far 8 participants. So only 4 have them 8. No, sorry. I have nearly 10 participants and so far only 4 of them have responded. Yes.
How do I respond? I am not be able to do the ma'am. Once again, repeat.
Right. Go to www.menti.com. In your Chrome, type www.menti.com. And when you enter, they will be asking you a code. Give the number 581708. And then press submit with your answer. Anyone facing any problem? Participants? This is a wonderful
Yes,
tool.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm facing the problem. It's showing thank you for using it all the time. We are sorry, but in the context of security, it's right now server transfer during the maintenance.
It's a very strange problem that you faced. It is
We are
www.
planning to use it.
From where are you using? Are you using from a laptop?
Mobile.
Mobile. Yeah, you can do it in the mobile also. That's no problem.
www.menti.com. Am I right?
Yeah, www.menti.com. Then you will get a box in which you have to type the code 581708.
Yeah, ma'am, I also tried. I'm getting a screen of Chinese characters. I've sent you the screenshot.
Okay, the spelling is Menti, M-E-N-T-I. Yeah, once again, ma'am.
It's there on the screen, menti.com, menti.com.
Okay. Tell me the number once again.
581708. 581708.
Online teaching, what is the great challenge faced?
Yes. This is the first challenge that you are facing. Yes. So
Okay.
I have my friends here. Shubika is here. Good afternoon, Shubika. It's a long time we are interacting.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Shubika?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm doing fine.
Thank you.
Means,
Thank you. Have you tried this? Only five participants have so far given. So
yes. I have given 2 responses. No eye contact and no immediate response.
Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. So here you can see directly as you are giving the response, the responses are coming on the screen directly. So you can very well interact with your students regarding the responses. When you have more number of students, you will see the whole screen is getting clapped and the big major one is going to be focused more.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes, who is this?
Hello, ma'am Rupsa. Very good afternoon. This is Professor Gautam Roy.
Yes, Gautam Roy. Did you log in? Were you able to successfully
Yeah, I
log
did
in?
everything, but I'm extremely sorry that I'm writing. This is the first thing what I am finding. I'm chatting with you. I have written my reaction, but it's not coming on the screen.
Okay, did you go to www.
My point is there is tremendous limitation of using pedagogy, the different methodologies in training program,
Like you,
such as you cannot use psychometric instruments.
no,
You
no,
cannot do group work. You cannot do group presentation. You cannot give individual
no,
feedback.
did you write it in that menti.com? www.menti.com?
I didn't go from there.
That is the reason. That is the reason.
Wrote on the chat.
No. You have to go to www.menti.com.
There itself, on your screen itself.
Yes, it comes directly to the screen. Your responses will be coming directly
itself,
to my screen.
I'm learning.
Okay,
I'm learning from you.
Right, go to www.menti.com. And once you go there, you will get a code 581708. You have to type this code 581708.
But I'm going. It is not taking from your screen.
No, not from my screen. You will have to go to Google Chrome.
No, then I have to open a new window.
Yes, Google Chrome.
I have to minimize you.
You can do alternate tab also. You are using from laptop or a mobile.
I have to minimize your screen.
Okay.
Because my screen is full, so I can't go like this.
Okay, fine.
So let me allow me to go to the
Yes,
Chrome.
Sure. Go ahead. So you can already see how the challenges we are facing when we are interacting with our students.
This is experience-based learning.
Yes.
This is true pedagogy, experience-based learning through online.
Yes. That was the basic intention also.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, only six participants have responded. All the other participants?
Yes, I'm doing it.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold in for a second, please.
We can continue this. We'll come back to our presentation now, sir. We will continue it again at the end. Okay? So I will stop sharing this and I will start with my presentation.
1 second.
Yes. So let me start with my presentation now. The first thing that we need to understand is we have two modes of teaching. One is our classroom teaching and one is the online teaching. And we all are compelled to do online teaching only because of this pandemic. This was not our initial intention and neither we were prepared for it. But we are now compelled to do it for this reason, because we have to continue with the academics of our students. We have to take care of their academic curriculum and also their classes. We cannot stop learning or we cannot stop knowledge transmission just because there is pandemic. So here I have written down certain points as to what are the benefits of the classroom. You can access a wide range of classroom facilities that you can see, and you have a physical space like games, role plays, and debates, just like sir has just spoken about. Classroom teaching, you can also have fun and do a lot more than just teach. You can do some activities, some projects and all these things. You can also share with your colleagues and students and take their support in case of any critical situations. But whereas in online, it is unstable most of the times, loneliness, limited teaching methods, and of course, no travel, no adventure. But online has a lot of benefits. Flexibility, it has 24/7 access. That means you are available 24/7 anytime. What you can do is you can upload your materials and you can put it in the public domain so that students can access it and go through it. So that one advantage is there. Also, you have the option to check the students' understanding by some online quizzes, and also you can standardize the coursework with a reduced need for lesson planning. So as online has certain disadvantages, it does have some advantages also. Now here we all know about this pyramid, the learning pyramid, and I will surely understand, you all will agree that passive teaching happens in lecture, reading, audiovisual mode, just as we do in the classroom. But participatory teaching, the maximum retention happens when you practice by doing, through discussions, demonstrations, and so by the way of teaching others. Now, this is one of the important aspects of making our teaching more effective. If we can distribute our study materials to the students well in advance and ask them to give us an understanding of certain topics, and they themselves will be taking the role of a teacher in explaining a small portion of a topic when the other students will be listening, you will be not only engaging the students, at the same time, their learning also increases. So this pyramid should be kept in our mind when we are actually going into the teaching. So the myth that classrooms are more effective should be eliminated through this pyramid itself. Now coming to our readiness toolkit. Before we start for the online, and in this context, I want to inform all the participants also. I hope you all are using your headphones. Are you using your headphones? Can I get some responses, please? Are you using your headphones, participants?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Because that is one of...
No, ma'am.
You are not using the headphone, Shoren. I would suggest if you can use a headphone, because I'll be showing a small clipping. If you have a headphone, it will be more effective. You can hear it much better. So before we actually go to the online classroom, we should have this readiness toolkit of computers, mobiles, a strong internet connection, your headphones, and of course a silent and isolated place or the room with proper illumination. So that's one of the important requirement of our online teachers. We have to have these tools. Like when people go to fight for Kargil, they're equipped with so many ammunitions and other things. Our online teachers will be actually equipped with all these tools to become successful teachers in the classrooms. So that is one of the important aspects. Now, to create an impactful learning experience, there are certain aspects that we need to have, certain dimensions. One of them is effective approach. What is an effective approach and how to make an effective approach? This is what we'll be discussing in short. Course empowered with video. So your teaching should not only be your teaching, but it should also have some material, some video clippings or something like that along with your teaching, which will make it interesting, and then students will be more interested to listen to you. Because one thing we should not forget, that we are now teaching the new millennials. They are much, much advanced than us. You tell them one word, they will immediately Google it and get the details of that word. So they find the importance of the teacher very diminished in where Google is there. In fact, many students substitute Google for teachers. So that is one thing where we have to safeguard our rights, safeguard our position, and safeguard our indispensableness. We have to show the students that teachers are a important part in their learning. Google can't give them all. We teachers can also have more things. So this is one thing which is very, very important. Embrace the power of communication. Implement virtual reality wherever it is possible. Flexible lesson plans and result-oriented assessment. That means assessment should be totally regarding the outcomes of the topic. When we have a class, when we plan a lesson or a session, what we do is we already list out, these are the outcomes of this particular session. So our assessment should be based on those outcomes, not the theories what we are teaching, but on the points what they are learning. So that's very, very important. Now coming to the effective approach, one of them is a collaborative virtual classroom. As I said, your virtual classroom can have a live audio video support, that is to make it interesting. You can record your sessions and leave it to the students so that whenever they want, they can refer to it for their more enhanced knowledge, for their more learning. You can share your screen and other materials with the student so that they can do certain assignments or activities and they can respond to you immediately, so that the interaction is more, it should not be one direction, it should always be in a two-direction mode. And here you have to keep on giving certain activities to the students every 10 to 15 minutes. So to keep them active, to keep them busy, and to see whether they're learning the things directly or not. Whiteboard, of course, there are facilities of whiteboards. Option to raise hand and ask questions. Like in this case also, you people might be having certain questions. Some questions might be propping up your mind. You can ask these questions at the end of the webinar so that we can all discuss with it. And the same way, you can also tell the students to do the same. Multi-level fallback mechanism, so that in case while studying a particular topic, the student is not understanding some area of the topic, there should be an option where he can go back, he can find out the more detailed approach, or he can either mail the teacher or he can even call the teacher, whichever is accessible, whichever is feasible. That sort of mode should be kept open so that the students can fall back on the doubts and get it cleared then and there itself and continue with their studies. And of course, live tech support, synchronous learning, all these things together becomes a collaborative virtual classroom. So we have to actually implement all these things to make our classrooms interesting and also to make it informative and also indispensable to the students. Now for this, there are certain tools like online discussion modes, like direct instruction. These modes are available. All these discussion boards are available in our web, in the internet. Every one of you can go and Google it and search it, and you will come up with a lot of types of discussion boards where you can utilize for the purpose of discussing with your students. This direct instructions consist of 3 stages, like teacher-led instruction, to student work together, and students work independently. It should actually be both way. Teacher-led instruction to student working together and students working independently. Either they work in group, that too in a collaborative way in the virtual group sense, or they work independently on certain project. Here's how you translate this time-tested strategy to the online world. You can record the instructional component of your lesson as a video, the whole lesson. Set a activity for learners to complete for feedback, and let your students work at their own pace. So this is how you can actually design your pedagogy, design your classes accordingly, so that it becomes very, very effective to the students. Now, as I was saying, there are online discussion tools to fuel engagement. These are few of the tools: back channel chat, Kialo, Now Comment, Turnitin and YoTeach. Turnitin basically is used for the purpose of our plagiarism check and all this. And there also they have the option of discussing with the participants. Similarly, Now Comment. Here, back channel is basically a paid one. The rest of ones are free, so you can always use it. It's real-time moderated online discussion, can engage and encourage. A terrific toll-free zone for structural student discussion and debate. So the students can also debate on that. Subjects: English, language, arts, communication, collaboration, all this type of subjects which are theoretical and also which has numericals, they can be used for these particular purposes. So these tools, you can always go and have a detailed knowledge of these particular tools which are available. I am giving you here the tools so that you can utilize them and you can get yourself experts on this, because there are a lot of tutorials available how to use these tools. I don't want to start teaching here these things, because then our time will become exhausted. And coming back, just a minute. This is the interesting part of the new concept, the flipped classroom. The flipped classroom, here before the students prepare to participate in class activities, you give them some materials to the students earlier. Suppose you have a class tomorrow. So here today itself, you pass this material through emails to the students and get that materials along with a particular activity. So the students will first do that activity. They will be presenting this activity or discussing this activity in the class. Students practice, apply the key concepts with the feedback that is in the class. And here the teacher is there to guide them and help them. And then after that, once the understanding of the concept is clear, then a new activity or assignment is given for the students to do it after the class and submit it before the next class, so that this whole process, this whole cycle, you can have the confidence once the assignments are done that some learning did happen. We all know that students are an option where they try to copy from here and there. But when you ask them to present and when you start questioning them with Quizlets and other things, then of course they will be bound to answer them. And you can start giving them some rewards, like putting their picture on the screen and giving a big clap for them or cheers for them to motivate them, saying that the winners are the ones who are going to be the hall makers, who are going to be the masters of this particular topic, something like that, and motivating them to present their understanding, which will help them basically to at least get some knowledge what they want. Now, in this context, I would request all of you to use your headphones, because I'm going to play a small clipping regarding the flipped classroom. Just a minute.
This is a classroom. The teacher stands in front, and the students watch and listen. You'll recognize this because it's probably how you were taught and how your parents were taught before you. But there are a lot of problems with this approach to teaching. You see, not all students learn at the same speed, so some get left behind. And while some students learn better by listening, others may learn better by doing. This means that teachers can't always do the best job they can. There is a lot problems and makes learning more personal. First, the teacher makes a video that delivers the content they usually teach in class. Then they share it online with students who can watch it before the next lesson. This leaves the teacher free to spend class time leading activities that help students apply the knowledge. Students can rewind and rewatch a video as many times as they like and come back to class with questions for the teacher. So keeping up with the class is no longer an issue. Students can access the video at any time using mobile devices, giving them the ability to learn more independently. Instead of sitting and listening, students can spend class time applying knowledge in more practical ways. And teachers are free to spend their time working with students and giving them individual support and attention. The flipped classroom model is already making a difference to students and teachers worldwide, so get involved. Discover more at flippedinstitute.org and become part of the movement.
I hope it was audible to all of you. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
everybody, it was audible to all of you. Okay. Thank you. Coming back to our,
And the students
Sorry.
watch and listen. You'll recognize this because it's probably how you were taught and how your parents.
okay. The next thing is our another effective approach is the game-based learning. So there are some games that are already available, gamification things, that is Duolingo, Second Life, Coursera, Brainscape, and Kahoot. You can use all these softwares for the purpose of game-based learning, like using in the form of games, teaching them concepts where you can access different exercises and all those things. So this is another aspect which you can go ahead and also continue for the purpose of teaching the students. The principles of communication all are here. Shubika is here, Shorin is here. So obviously you all are very much aware. Gautam sir is here and Tanuja is here. So we all are communication teachers. We taught communication to our students. Even in online, this is where it is very important: respect, understanding, plan, simplicity, enthusiasm, repetition, feedback, trust, collaboration, and outcome based. So you have to use all these principles for effective communication. Now, this is another concept where we have, suppose our class duration is 60 minutes. Now you can see there is a graph which is given, the effectiveness of the class and the class duration. So suppose we use the method 1. From method 1, you can see it is only effective up to, let us say, 15 to 20 minutes. After that, the effectiveness of that particular method is decreasing. So immediately after 20 minutes, you have to change to method 2 of your teaching pedagogy. So again, this method, again for 20 minutes, it will be retaining, but again after that, the effectiveness decreases. So you have to shift to the third method again, and this is how you have to complete the whole 60 minutes of your class, changing your method from one to another so that you can keep your class effectiveness to 100%. So we have a lot of methods. What the methods are, what type of methods are there, we'll be going into that. But this is how you should keep changing the methods in a whole class span of 60 minutes in online mode, basically to increase the retention capacity of the students. Now, coming to the teaching methods, the one that I was discussing, you have teacher-centered experience and also student-centered experience. In from teacher-centered to student-centered experience, you can see how the different teaching methodologies work. The first one, where it is totally teacher-centered, it is a conventional type teaching. What most of the instructors are given by the teachers and students just follow the instruction. Now, as I said, that you should keep on changing your method. You might, after some time giving the instruction, change it to a structured discovery type. Here, you should discover the rules, principles, and laws of that particular concept, discussing with the students as to what should be the approaches, what should be the principles of that concept and everything. So that it should become totally interactive. Then you can change to a investigation type, like relationship investigation devising in our classes. We normally use the concept of case study or caselets. So at that particular point of time, you can share a caselet and ask them to apply this concept in the caselet and start discussing the caselet accordingly. So here again, you're changing the pedagogy, and this is how you're continuing with the other method of teaching. You can also use the method of problem solving type. Give them a problem and ask them to solve the problem through the learning that they have learned. So again, this is another way of changing your teaching, where you have an interaction, where you can engage the students accordingly, and you can continue with your classes. And finally, which we all follow, is the project method. At the end of every course, we give them a project, where live project, which is related to the course, where they can apply the concepts of the course. And if they can build a project accordingly, they can do some research on that project. They can start presenting that project, report generation of the project. All these things can be done. And these are the various teaching methods. You can keep on juggling one after the other to see where the retention is maximum, and also to get more and more interest from the students, to get the students motivated, at the same time keep them engaged. So these are the various teaching methods. Now, this is also another concept that we have to keep in mind, which diminishes all our myths regarding the online teaching. Like we have the Dale-Coleman cone, and we have Bloom's taxonomy. I have just kept the Bloom's taxonomy, reversed the Bloom's taxonomy, just for it to match with the Dale cone experience. So you see the verbal symbols, visual symbols, all this are used basically to remember and understand. The record, pictures, radios, educational television, exhibits, study trip, demonstrations can be used to apply the knowledge that they have learned and that they have understood. And finally, dramatizing the experience and contribute the experience, direct purposeful of the experience can be used, especially in the case of projects or in the case of understanding particular scenario, where they can analyze, evaluate, and create some new concepts. So the myth that online classes are not very effective, students, we are not able to control them, can be to some extent diminished when we constantly keep on interacting and constantly give them all these materials for the purpose of their activity. We should keep them busy by giving them some assignments, some activities, some assessment, some Quizlet, some caselets for all this purpose, so that, and they keep giving the feedback to us. So in this process, the learning becomes more and more effective. For this, lot of preparation is required on the part of the teachers, which they need to prepare before actually planning the class. What all activities they are going to share, what concepts they are going to discuss, how they are going to discuss, because they have to prove that they are better than Google. So that's one of the important aspects. That is a big challenge that we are facing with our current generation students. So here we have to see, are we ready for that? Current skill versus required skills. Either we perform or we have to perish in this particular era. So regarding the required skills, very important are the thinking skills, digital skills, knowledge management, communication skill, the ability to learn independently, ethics, and responsibility, teamwork, and flexibility. So all these skills should be either imbibed, adopted, or learned to become effective teachers. Now, some e-assessment tools that are available in the web for free access, like Google Slides, Google Docs, Google Forms. Most of you are aware of this. Hot Potato, Quizlet, Ruby Star, and iRubyRex. So all these things are available in the web, and also tutorials are also available. So you can enhance and enrich your knowledge on these with these particular concepts, so that you can use them in your online classes to make it more interesting and more effective, like the one that I was just doing with the Menti.com. There are some learning management systems like Talent MS, GoSkills, Moodle, Chamilo, and Sakai. These are also available in the web. Some are on charge basis, some you can use for the trial basis also, but you can use this for the purpose of learning with quizzes, questionnaires, and everything. You can use caselets for the students to solve them. So that way the learning becomes more intense and more engaged. Now the delivery mode. The delivery mode can be of three types. One is self-paced, guided, or intensive interaction. Regarding self-paced, here you have the learner basically to the content. That is, content is available and the learner will learn as per his or time and his or choice. High-tech and low-tech technologies can be used for that purpose. Monitoring and on-demand support is given. Like you give them some theory to study and ask them to read through it, and then you have to start finding out problems which are related to those theories and ask the students to solve those problems. There you are going to guide them wherever they require guidance. Now the second module is the guided module, where the learner-to-learner guiding goes on, and wherever required, the teacher starts supporting them. Here in one thing we should not forget, that in online teacher, we are not just teachers, we are facilitators. So here we should not think we are teacher and they are student. We are the facilitators who are facilitating to enhance their knowledge of all our participants. That's a basic concept we should keep in mind. And so the ego of teacher-student concept has to be totally eliminated, totally removed from our thought processes, because then we will be able to become more effective and more successful. The third module is the intensive interaction, where there is a continuous interactions between the learner and the teacher, the learner to the learner, and the learner and the instructor to the learner. So it's a two-way communication. It can be diagonal communication also, as we have learned. So all these are three different delivery modules which can be utilized for the purpose of effective online teaching. Now some tools for online teaching, as you have seen, I have used Zoom. Similarly, you can use Google Meet, Facebook Classrooms, Microsoft Teams, WebEx, GoToMeeting, GeoMeet. Every software has certain advantages and certain disadvantages. Zoom I found much flexible, so I was using Zoom. There are others also. We need to become much more experts in those. You can use any one of those, so that the student, whatever is available with them, they can always get connected to you. So these are the few tools. Finally, I want to thank you all for this patient hearing and participating in my webinar. And I want to end by saying the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, or relearn. Told by Alvin Toffler. And I will be sharing this feedback link in the chat window, so that you can fill up this feedback form. Now I'm ready for the questions. I'll stop sharing. Yes. Good Saman sir. How are you? It's a long time. Hello? Yes? Any questions? The feedback link is in the chat. You can fill up the feedback link.